guys, Katie here. I'm so glad you guys decided to stop in and visit. I did not plan on getting this thrifting video done this week. However, my phone rang this morning. It was my ex-husband, and he wanted to talk about our daughter and the tattoo she is requesting for her upcoming 17th birthday. So after hanging up the phone, after a very fun conversation, as you might imagine, I checked the rule book, and it turns out in the thrifting rule book, if you have a conversation with an ex about a 17-year-old and tattoo drama all before noon, you get to go thrifting. I don't write the rules. I just follow them. So as soon as I hung up, I said I need a little retail therapy, and off to the thrift store I went. So let's get started browsing. Let's get our blood pressures down here and just take some time for ourselves to see what kind of vintage treasures we can find. All right, let's get going. My first stop was at a little flea market I like to visit. She did have these really cute ornaments for $5 each. I really liked them. They were tempting not to buy and keep for myself. They were a little smudged up, so I went ahead and left those behind. But I have never seen these. I don't know if you guys have, but they were super, super cute, especially if you kind of like the whole elf mushroom kind of cottagecore theme. I think I've told you guys before, one of the things I like about this little flea market is some of the vendors do a really cute job with the way that they display and decorate. And I really like getting ideas from some of these places. And this one's pretty reasonable. You can see this cute little Santa. He is skiing. He was missing a pole, but the prices still are really, really good if you're just looking for pieces for decorating or even for resale. They have quite a bit to look at. This did catch my eye as a maybe item. This was like a ceramic Christmas tree project, but it was a napkin holder, which I thought was a brilliant idea. I think they had $6 on it, which seemed like a great price. So if you love ceramic Christmas trees, I know that some of these napkin holders are floating around out there. She also just had a really cute display of vintage kind of cooking and baking items that she had put all together. And I thought this whole display would look really awesome on a shelf or in some type of vignette. But it was just nice to see how she matched everything up with the jadeite greens and the reds. It's just beautiful. There were just some other little kitschy Christmas pieces, and as you can see, her prices in this booth are fantastic. I mean, everything is just a few dollars. And I did spot a ceramic Christmas tree. I really thought the price on this, I mean, to be in the $30 range, I thought was really good. It has kind of like an iridescent paint base, which really isn't my thing, but I know a lot of people do like it. But I did think that that was a great price, and I wanted to add it to this video. There was the little kissing Santa and Mrs. Claus. And lots of people are just doing, little bowls full of ornaments, choice for a couple of dollars. I had wondered if these little guys might have been from a kit. It looked like little Disney felt ornaments that someone had made. And of course, the Christmas blow molds are out. They had $70 for the pair on these candles. Maybe a little bit high. I tend to see those around the $20 to $30 each range, but they could be more valuable this winter. I'm not quite sure. But moving along to one of my other favorite booths in this little market, this booth takes all different kinds of scraps and items and puts together the cutest kind of vintage assembled crafts. She had made these little fabric Christmas trees on spools. She makes all kinds of really cute ornaments using vintage findings. And every year she just puts the most beautiful booth together. I just want to move into it and just live in it. It is so, so cozy. And her latest project, it looks like she has some assorted kind of assemblage pieces where she has taken vintage planters and filled them up with bottle brush trees and ornaments. And as you can see, that one has the little deer. And she just really has an eye for putting these together. The little trees just absolutely slay me. I think using the vintage fabric to create those is such a brilliant idea, and using the little spool as a base is just adorable. Now you will see on some of her pieces, like for this assemblage piece, she has it at $75. And it's actually, that is well worth it. This little planter here, I have seen going online for about $100. So for the planter alone, you're getting a good deal. She has that priced just about right, because that's about what you would have to pay for that planter alone without the vintage bottle brush Christmas tree in it. She had this little Holt Howard picture. She had 60 on him. He actually, there's a little set of mugs that also goes with him. You might have seen the little winking Santa mugs that go with him, but it was actually once sold as a set. So finding the picture would be great if you already have the set of cups at home. And then you can see she just had all sorts of cute little vintage Christmas. I mean, I just love the little figurines that she finds and how she mixes them in with the old ornaments and the old greenery. And then it looks like she uses like a coarse glitter and sugars them all really well, and they're just beautiful. She did have a few other little Holt Howard pieces, like that candle holder. But it is just such a fun booth to get lost in. So leaving there, I did head over to Goodwill. I wanted to see what kind of treasures we could find. I did like this dollhouse. Look, it even had the little fireplace in it. I actually turned an old thrifted dollhouse into a gingerbread house last year. I'm going to link that up in my description so you guys can see how I did that. But it was a really fun project I enjoyed doing, and it's going to make you guys want to look for old kids' dollhouses that you can upcycle. So I will show you guys more about that later. This cute little vanity chair caught my eye. It was in rough shape. It's kind of been that way lately, where I'm seeing things that are really pretty cute, but they would just require a lot of work to get them up to par. You can see some of those little pink cottagey tea houses. I actually snagged one of those last week. This did come home with me, this planter. It's a wishing well planter. I thought it was a McCoy. I was really surprised it was not, but I still really liked it. It was 99 cents, and so I brought that home because I'm going to use it for plant starts and for some of my smaller plants. They pretty much have all of the Christmas mixed in now. They don't really have it all set to one section. So I do really like making sure I get in there and see what might be hiding. This was really cute. This was like a 1950s jelly jar, and this is what would have had jam in it, and a little spoon would have come out of that spot right there. I thought $1.49 was a really great price for that, made in Japan, and it was in decent shape. And we have got some kind of clown going on back there. A lot of Christmas mugs, tons and tons. Searching through all of the, what I call the brown section, where all the wood and signs and things like that are. Not a whole lot today. These little pictures were cute. I didn't take them, but they look like they were probably like 1970s artwork. I was so excited to find these. These are kind of like old French kind of cottagey trays. They are wood, they are painted, but when I flipped them over on the back, they had $8.99 on these, and once again they wrote on them with the silver marker that I wish somebody would take away and hide so they stop using it. But for $8.99, I had to leave those behind. I thought they were beautiful. They would have looked lovely in my home, but that's a little bit high for a thrift store. This little shadow box was super cute. I did come across a croquet set. These have a really, really good resale value if they're in good shape. This one is not in great shape. It looks like it's missing a few pieces. It should have at least 6 different colored balls with it. It did have the mallets and everything, but even for just a few bucks, I decided to leave it behind. The paint was in rough shape. I feel like things are really starting to pick up in the picture aisle. For a while there, it was nothing. Then all of a sudden, I feel like I'm finding things. I didn't today, but they're at least putting a lot more out to dig through. It does look like someone gave away their boxer collection. These were kind of pretty. The little one, these guys right here, they've got bandages on their ears, are Lefton. But they wanted $4.99 each for these. And that's about what you would pay for them, retail. Here was a sweet little bathroom set I found. This probably, was in like a child's room or something at one time. They're the little frosted jars that you would keep things like cotton balls and Q-tips in. I want to say they had $5.99 on this. I liked it with the exception of the writing on it. Otherwise, I might have snagged it, but I decided to leave that behind. I did, however, go back for the little copper wall hangings. We saw this in a previous video, and I debated on them, but I decided to go back. They were $3.99 each, and I had a couple of Goodwill bucks that I could use. So I ended up getting these for about $2.99 each. I will be showing you guys later how I use these, but I do have a wall in my kitchen. Those will be going on. When you're looking at ornaments that are boxed up at a thrift store, always check the box, because I'm finding that a lot of times the ornament does not match what the box says. So it's always good to look in those and see what you might be missing out on if you just judge a box by its cover. I did contemplate over this little plant stand. I think they only had $5.99 on it. It was a little rickety, but I do love a good plant stand. I imagine that will get snatched up quickly. I did grab this runner. It is green velvet, which a lot of my family room is. It had embroidery on it that I did not like, but I loved the green velvet and the pom-poms that were on it. The trim was just amazing. I'm actually going to take it and see if I can cut it and use it for lamp trim. I have some lamps in my family room that I think that would look nice on. So that is a future project. I'll let you guys know how that goes. I don't know if you guys remember the Pillsbury Doughboy premiums you used to be able to send for. They used to have points on each Pillsbury product that you bought. Pillsbury points is what they were called. And you could save those and send them in with the little order sheet and get all different kinds of premiums. And these are some of those premiums that you could get. They had most of these at $4.99, which is probably about right these days. They used to be pretty collectible and people used to pay good money for them, but the whole market for the Pillsbury Doughboys kind of died down. I did buy these plates. They had several stacks of them that had these really nice wildflower prints on them. Here's clover. You guys saw the little What were those? The little purple ones. I'm having a brain freeze. But there's the dandelions, which were really sweet. But you could get the stack. One set was $3.99, the other one was $2.99. I ended up grabbing all 3 stacks because I did like them so much. Violets, that's what the other flower was. Sorry, I couldn't think of it. I'm actually probably going to keep these. They're 1970s, and I love anything with botany on it, and I thought those were perfect. My daughter always laughs when she sees these tins because she said the other day she's never actually had the cookies that was in them before, but she sees the tins everywhere. So we were at Dollar Tree the other day, and she actually bought a tin of those cookies because she wanted to try them so bad. She said, I've seen the tins so many times, they never have the cookies in them. People use them for storage. And she actually got to try them, and she liked them. I like them too. I actually think they're pretty good. This little folding chair was sweet coming up here. I, of course, would change the cushion out, but I thought it would be actually really cute painted or with a decal on it. The price was good, only I think $5.99, and it was solid. So I think that was a good buy. There was this really old doll high chair. Well, actually, it was probably just a regular high chair at one time, but somebody wrote on it dolls only because it is so rickety and it wouldn't be ideal for putting a baby in. But I did like the decal on that. That was cute. In the linens, I'm still on the hunt for a few things. I'm always looking for vintage fabric and tablecloths that I can either use or resell. I'm also looking for fabric for some curtains that I need. I did not find that today. They did have some cute embroidery pieces, though, that I thought were pretty unique. And like I've said before, I can only imagine the kind of work that goes into pieces like this. They had this one for 99 cents, and I thought, oh my gosh, that must have taken someone hours to make. There's a lonely little nativity piece. I can remember making these little beaded ornaments when I was little. There was a little bag of those. But we're mostly looking at just all plastic these days. There wasn't a whole lot to look at. I did contemplate over this spice rack for a while. I don't care for the decal on it. It was one of those things that I thought, well, I would paint it and redo it, into a way that I like. But I've promised myself I won't take on any more projects right now, so I passed. I did see this really, really sweet little squirrel dish. I already have 2 of these, so my better judgment had to kind of speak out, and I left this guy behind. But I'm always looking for vintage squirrel stuff. Here was a sweet little pan set that was still in the original packaging. Sometimes I buy things just for the packaging because it's so decorative. And there was also this really neat enamel pot, and the price was good, but there was no lid. I really wish I knew who made it because I did really like the pattern on it. And Goodwill had a ton of really decorative trays today. They had this kind of Dutch looking tray for $2.99. They also had some different metal decorative ones. Cool patriotic one. These actually look like they came out of the same garage sale because a lot of them still had the garage sale sticker on it. And of course, Goodwill's price was much higher, but there was a cute snowman and snow lady. I'm always looking for winter blankets, especially if they are wool. Here was a cute 1980s raccoon Christmas towel. And there were some little great quilts. These would be like children's bedding quilts that someone had used old fabric for. These were $4.99 each. All of these were things I passed on today. I just don't have an immediate need for them. It did look like a teacher or educator of some type gave their collection of records to Goodwill because there were a bunch of really sweet children's records. I did end up snagging that Frosty the Snowman one, which I will use in my decor. I also snagged this haunted house one. I actually have my mom's that she used in her classroom many years ago. I'll be using both in decor. But the graphics on these were just great. And I did get this Marlo Thomas record. I remember that one from the 70s, I think. And so I ended up snagging that. But the graphics on these alone are just so sweet. I loved looking through them. And at our Goodwill, records are only 29 cents. So they're totally affordable, and they are a great way to decorate. And we'll use them too. We use our record player quite often. Some little 1970s pottery. It's getting hard. I'm getting kind of picky these days. I'm trying not to grab absolutely everything that catches my eye, but it is difficult, let me tell you. I got excited for a minute because I thought those glasses might be sterling. I did flip them over and look underneath, and they were in fact silver plate. Had they been sterling, they would have easily had been worth $30 or $40 each, if not more, because they were quite heavy. But unfortunately, they were just plated and not the real deal. But it's always worth checking. So before I go, I want to show you guys the DIY I was talking about earlier. This is an old dollhouse. I mean, it's not old. It's probably from the 2000s. I bought it while thrifting. I think I paid $2.99 for it. What I did was I bought all kinds of little fake candy pieces. I got most of these at like Michael's and Hobby Lobby. I bought a gingerbread colored spray paint. I went ahead and applied 2 coats. I didn't prime or anything. I just applied 2 coats and let those dry really well. And using hot glue, I put all of the little candy pieces right onto the house. I used some pink milk glass paint to create frosting details, icing details on the house. I also used little bottle brush trees and candy trim, all found at the craft store. And when I was done, my little dollhouse made the absolute cutest gingerbread house. This is something that you can display during the holiday season. It is a project that kids and adults will absolutely love doing. So if you guys want to give that a try, I will make sure I stick the link in my description. As always, I hope you guys are having a wonderful week. Thanks for joining. Like and subscribe so you don't miss a thing, and I will see you guys back here next time. Till then, be safe, healthy, and happy thrifting. Bye-bye.